Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the chairman of INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria. Professor, sir, you should be ashamed of yourself. The INEC chairman and the entire INEC leadership, national commissioners, Rex, you should be thoroughly and severely ashamed of yourself and everything you represent. If this is the character and competence you bring to public office, if this is the way you conduct yourself as public office holders who should hold the trust of the Nigerian people, then you should be thoroughly ashamed of yourself. But you know what's in Professor Mahmood and your gang of leaders. Nigeria has been in existence before your tenure, and Nigeria will outlive your tenure. The question where you're supposed to ask yourself is, how much is your conscience? Is it really worth it for us to mortgage the future of more than 200 million people for self-gratification or financial aggrandizement? You must answer that question, INEC leadership. Professor Mahmood Yakubu, I am sending you this memo on behalf of all Nigerians, because you see 2027, Nigerians will fight for their own lives and destinies. For 2023, INEC, Professor Mahmood, Professor of Glitch, you collected hundreds of billions from Nigerian government to conduct one election. And you claim, you said that the game changer for that election will be electronic transmission of results, use of beavers and all of them. You go around this country, even with your voter education personnel, Barrister Festus Okoye, telling and lying to Nigerians that there is no going back on the use of electronic technology. But on the day of election, you said there was a glitch. There was a glitch, but you went ahead to announce election results in the middle of the night when human beings were sleeping. As if that is not enough, today, INEC, they decide which court order to obey and the one not to obey. To register new political party is almost a problem. It's completely a struggle. INEC, are you an independent electoral umpire, or you are the electoral arm of every ruling party? Professor Yakubu, what caused the glitch? What exactly is going on with INEC? Because we know say a lot they go on for that commission now. And because Nigerians fail to hold leaders accountable, you still they waka, they go Ghana, go South Africa. They claim to be an unbiased electoral umpire when you conducted what was called a criminal event in Nigeria in 2023. According to one AU observation group, they say waiting they come to do for Nigeria was not election monitoring. It was a crime watch. Professor Mahmood, you superintended a crime watch and announced results from that criminality that occurred in 2023. Nigerians are ready for INEC 2027. Anything where we say INEC una they prepare, Nigerians we say we they cook for una. Because you see this criminality, it will not be sustained. All of una were there for INEC staff where una they work for that commission. A lot of una know say a lot they go on there. You are people of character and integrity. You must speak up for yourselves and for the sake of this country. A lot they go on for the IT department and all of that. Everything where they go on with Sabio, INEC. If true you knew that you are sincere about electronic transmission of results, since after 2023 where the glitch occur, what have you done about the glitch? What caused the glitch? What are you doing with the National Assembly to fix results, or to fix the laws to ensure there is mandatory transmission of results electronically and to protect your INEC server? What are the petitions you are submitting before the National Assembly? Oshilenshe INEC, Ori Buruku Lenshe. But you see this 2027, this will not be about APC, PDP, Labour. It is more than 200 million victims of inhumanity and wickedness against a group of oppressors who are not willing to let us go. But we go know whether the power of the people and the people in power who should be greater. INEC, whatever it is, where they cook Nigerians, the most popular person we're supposed to do this country since after 2023 is supposed to be INEC chairman. We are supposed to have billboards all across this country asking Professor Mahmood, waiting caused the glitch, what caused the glitch, and how we will not have further glitches. INEC, I am sending this memo because if we not hold you, Professor Mahmood, accountable, you go soon come out, but they go bring person where go even worse past you, but he go get the memo. By the time we hold you accountable and make you to account for what was given to you and how you conducted that election, the person will go come after you go get the memo. But if we say nothing, then we are going to excuse this level of criminality. I refuse to be a part of this sham called an electoral process. 2027, Narig and die. 2027, it is Nigerians against evil and a corrupt and criminal system. Nigeria will prevail. INEC, what caused the glitch? Professor Mahmood, what caused the glitch? What is going on in INEC? Are you for elections or you are the weapon fashion against Nigeria? We will find out.
Alright guys, welcome to my channel guys. So a lot of people has been calling out P2B, that P2B is the one they want for presidency. But here, the current president, which is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he is saying that he's a president and he is actually assuring Nigerians that he's going to be president comes 2027. But we'll see how that happens, all right? If the Nigerian youth in general would allow Tinubu to rule us from 2027 again, that's to say, to take us on another thing.
So when you go to this place belongs to my family. So everybody take it. This place belongs to my family. So I can nobody gave you for order and you're spoiling our house. So send it to the people you're sending, please. Okay. I came here in peace. I'm not quarreling with you. Just get the people that are doing the wrong thing. That's just not in fence now. So you just enter somebody that says not on that. Which God? We have all the legitimate documents by this sold to us by family. And this is how you intimidate poor people. Please tell the person who gave you the order that if you please vacate this place.
I am not a tribalistic person. Neither am I someone who easily lose hope on some certain situation. I've been telling myself that Nigeria is definitely going to get better, but with the kind of comment I'm seeing under Peter Obi's post from young people, I don't want to sound tribalistic. Let me just use the word from young people. I don't think Nigeria will be better in our generation. I don't think so. So yesterday, Peter Obi made a post where he was complaining about the lawlessness in Nigeria. He was talking about how his younger brother called him. You know, he was panicking. And when he asked why, he said some group of persons came with excavators, tractors, and the rest to demolish his business property that have been standing in Ikeja, Lagos for more than 15 years. And then he went there, like, what's going on? They said they were ordered to demolish the properties with security personnel there, police. And then when he asked, from who? Order is from who? Which court did you people get the order from? They said they don't know the person. They said it's some people that caught there to come and demolish the property. His write-up is so long, but this is just a summary of what he was talking about. He even told them, okay, call the person, let me talk to the person. Where is the valid court order that you people have to come and demolish this property that have been here? And why are you people demolishing it? How can you people just come and be demolishing someone's business property that have been standing, not 2 years, 3 years, more than 10 years, this property have been here? There is no formal notice like, okay, oh, this is what is going on, oh, this property is standing in a government land, or it's standing in... No notice. Peter Obi said he tried his best possible to make sure at least he talks to the person to at least ask why, what is going on. How can you be demolishing someone's property? And you didn't even tell the person, at least tell the person. He stood there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. He couldn't talk to nobody. Which simply means it was a calculated move against Peter Obi. I think that maybe they were thinking the property is for Peter Obi. That was why they went to demolish it. They didn't know it wasn't for Peter Obi, it was for his younger brother. And Peter Obi was saying that the kind of bullying that he had received since he came out to contest for presidency, that it is too much. That he's not thinking, what happens to the average Nigerian? If a high-profile personality like in Nigeria, he and his family can be going through that kind of stuff. What happens to the normal average citizens? And you know what? I expect every young Nigerian to be able to relate to what Peter Obi was saying. But lo and behold, come and see comment section. It has happened to other people. Why are you the only one crying? Some persons are saying in the comment section, I think that saying that Igbo people get Lagos. Well, how come this happen? And I'm asking myself, is this even what we are supposed to be talking about right now? Somebody is complaining that his younger brother's business property, where they use money to build company, where don't they there, they demolish and without prior notice. And even when they were making so much effort to at least try and talk to somebody to know why the property is being destroyed, nobody's talking to them. It was just a move, a malicious move to make Peter Obi upset. They're just trying their best to make sure this man doesn't even have the courage to come up again to say, I want to contest again in 2027, because when he sits down and begins to think about what he has gone through so far since after 2023 presidential election, he wouldn't even want to go through such rigorous process anymore, such bullying, such hate, such resentment that he has been getting from people so far. I mean, this is not the first time Peter Obi is coming out to say sometimes he will go somewhere, they will snub him. Look at the other day, he wanted to get to Benue to see IDP camp, to talk to the children, to give them at least some kind of assistance. They stopped him from entering the state. He was complaining the other day when he went to a wish country like that. Nigeria were playing football. They wanted the players wanted him to take pictures with them, but immediately whether the coach or something came, he made a call and he said no, nobody's allowed to snap with Peter Obi, just because this man came out to contest for election to make Nigerians' life better. And then you have people in the comment section who are supposed to be like, okay, what this man is saying is true. If it can happen to Peter Obi, now you know what can happen to. Imagine say I get small money and small 5 million, say make I take go buy land for that Lagos. My mind don't go there at peace. And we have people supporting the lawlessness of this government. See, I don't want to sound tribalistic, but we need to use our head. If not, you see the redemption that we want, it won't happen in this generation. It won't happen. That's how most of you will suffer till you die. Because most Nigerian youth don't like progress. They don't like progress. See comment section. Then I guess Peter Obi. Is Peter Obi the first person complaining of how lawless Nigeria is, where they are demolishing people's properties? What did Peter Obi do now? Because the guy said make him try to say, okay, if Nigeria feel better, is that his crime? Anyway, my advice, if you know say you know be from Lagos or you know be people from that side, no, they invest in Lagos again. I know say Lagos, no say the main reason why people they like to invest for Lagos now because of its easy accessibility and now business hub. But at the end of the day, after investing millions, getting property, starting your life, the next day you will wake up because say they move with the current political party or the current government. They will not be making malicious moves against you, wicked moves to try and ruin your life, to try and render you useless. Your source of livelihood, they want to destroy it. It's better you go to your own state. Make everybody go to establish for their state. Small, by the grace of God, development will come each state. If you be Igbo person and say you dey land, don't invest in land. Don't invest in land. Don't go to buy property for them. This is just my advice. So because the kind of comment when like I said, I'm not a tribalistic person. I don't play the tribal card because I'm somebody that I am learned and I have traveled at least to see what is happening in other nations. And I'm not want to come and be like, okay, like no. But the way I'm seeing comments, it's not going to get better very soon. How can people be complaining about how people are demolishing property without even prior notice to the owner? Person go to imagine say a younger brother not there Nigeria. You say get business property for Lagos, only to your year 1 month say they don't demolition. Do you know that can buy somebody? And because it is Peter Obi, you people are happy. God forbid. Go and establish in your state, oh. That's just my only advice. And I think say na Igbo people there Lagos. Is that supposed to be so? Like at the read comment, they piss me off. One will get sense. And I will see they say if they say an outside country, you can't live in outside country with this kind of tribalism in your heart. You will not survive it.
I had occasion to address the candidacy of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Atiku. These, in my own opinion, are old men. The scripture says that old men shall dream dreams and young men shall see visions. They have not done anything, as far as I'm concerned, in any sphere, and we can begin to deal with specifics, to suggest to me that they have the capacity to lead Nigeria into the future that it needs to urgently go into. I've had occasion to mention the fact that the current regime in power in Nigeria has more or less destroyed hope. The country has never been more fragmented. All the old fault lines have been opened up. And in the midst of the hopelessness in this space, it's become almost impossible for anyone to persuade sufficient numbers of Nigerians about the preservation of where we are. So it has to be about where we are going. If it has to be about where we are going, it has to be young persons who have the capacity to imagine a different future, even though you must always have your narrative, because if you are just talking about ideals without relativity, it becomes impossible to get the people galvanized. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, the obedient movement is doing its job sufficiently. The young men and women who have invested their hopes in Mr. Peter Obi, they've invested. It's not, the man they give shishi. He has said this severally. But people are sprouting up from their the four children in the sitting room. They are getting up and they are making their voices heard. And they are making it clear that they are investing their hopes. It's about hope, because in reality, hope is the only thing that we have lost in Nigeria, hope in the capacity of our rulers to imagine a different direction. But this man has come, he's offered that hope. He's not Voltron, he's not God, and he's definitely not going to be infallible. But it is not about his person. It is about the ideals that he will set forth, or that he has set forth, the life that he had lived, that will make enough people believe, if they do believe, and then they come together, invest these hopes in a man. If the man fumbles, it's not about the man, it's about the ideas that we would all have stood behind. If that man fumbles, another man takes the baton. The reality is that we need to be traveling in a different direction. And a large percentage of the Nigerian youth have shown clearly, and are showing clearly all over the country, that they know the direction they want to travel, not the direction that we have traveled all these years. It's the same direction. The two, Mr. Atiku, Mr. Tinubu, they are mirror images. It's like different sides of the same coin. So for me, I have only one candidate in the coming race, and I appeared to be the fourth of the 4 children tweeting in a bedroom somewhere.
All right, Mr. Farotimi, I like the fact that you made reference to the tweeting in the room in Abuja. And of course, everybody saw what happened, including the coming out of a newly wedded couple to join that train. But I'm interested in your thoughts around the Obi Dele rally that is proposed for Lagos. I'm interested in your thoughts because of the fact that it is in court. 2 days ago, the judge did say that there will be accelerated hearing so that the suit can be determined before the 1st of October. My point is, will you be in support of, when that rally happens in Lagos, that it has to be at the very space where NSAS protest was the most vociferous in Lagos, at the Lekki toll gate? Don't you think, from what the lawyers who took them to court are saying, that it will bring back horrific memories of what happened in 2020, and that it might lead to a degeneration of law and order? What will be your thoughts around that? And if that does not happen, which direction do you think that the proposed Obi Dele rally will take in Lagos?
You know, it's amazing how shameless we have become as a people. It's completely shameless. I know as a fact that the Obi Dele movement have no intention of having a rally at the Lekki toll gate. I wouldn't even support the politicization of the Lekki toll gate. Let's be very, very clear about that. I spoke with traumatized survivors in the immediate aftermath of the NSAS massacre. And one consistent story that I heard from about 4 different ones was the fact that certain young men died that night who knew they were going to die. They simply stood up so that they will become part of the history of how Nigeria changed on that evening. That's not about politics. If anyone seeks to politicize Lekki toll gate, the person would actually be facing the wrath of God. That is not a place for politics. It's hallowed ground. Men died that night whose graves will never be known because the Nigerian state has deemed it so. So for anyone to presume to politicize Lekki toll gate is below the belt. So I know as a fact that there was no such intention. There might be groups seeking to commemorate the day who might be having their own plans for some commemorative rally or candlelit, something. I don't know about that, but I do know as a fact that the Obi Dele movement have no intention of having a political rally at Lekki toll gate. I'm aware that they are planning their rally, but certainly not for Lekki toll gate. It's even on the mainland, as far as I am aware. So it becomes rather simplistic for anyone to say that they are suing the Obi Dele movement for planning to hold a rally. It's just political noise. But it's just painful that anyone should think that Lekki toll gate should become a place. It's part of how what we have become, really, that somebody. Anyway, when we keep denying what has become impossible to deny, even when a judicial panel of inquiry has established the veracity of the claims of massacre, why wouldn't somebody think that it's a good idea to further? I really have very few kind words to say about the persons who have done this, so I would prefer to just end it like that, that yes, there will be a march in Lagos or a rally of some sort, but it's definitely not at the Lekki toll gate. And that we have become, how is it that Lagos has become the place where governorship candidates cannot have their billboards up there? All kinds of strong arm tactics are being used on people who might have contrary opinions to those of the Alafin of Bodilon. How come? Why is it that all these blackmails will be springing up? Let me just say this. There is no plan, was never one, for the Obi Dele movement to have a rally at like that would be hallowed ground. At least I'm not aware, I'm not privy to it, and I would have vehemently opposed any such plans. I'm not aware of that, and I should be, and I'm not aware.
All right. You spoke about the youth earlier, and as we all know, they are a very integral part of the electoral process. But let's speak to how truly energized the youth are in relation to voter apathy and what we expect to see at the polls next year. Do we think we're there?
Yeah. You know, for the older generation, and I'm becoming one of those, after a point where we had come to accept the failure of the Nigerian state and had taken on more and more of the roles that the state should have filled, and I'm talking about the entire systemic collapse of the Nigerian state from local to federal level. We took on the job of providing our own social services, educating our children, everybody's children, especially if you're in the urban centers like Lagos. You had to send your children to private schools, you use private hospitals. Everything became more or less privatized. You sink your own boreholes. Our generation became permissive of the failure of governance, and we just got on with it. And as we've become increasingly old, and we're now having to get ever more expensive forex to pay for university educations because the system has failed and all of us didn't think about rescuing the system, it's become more and more clear to all of us that there is a high price to pay for the failure of governance. So I think already you have that generation better energized than ever before, maybe not voting for the right issues, but definitely energized. And now you asked specifically about the youth. As I said, in 2019, you had a total of 27 million and then some voting in the presidential election. Out of the voting registered, I think 81 million. That's a third. That's appallingly low. And it is so because the people were disconnected. Between then and now, we have had NSAS. Nothing has advertised the nature of the Nigerian state better than NSAS. And NSAS was merely the culmination of a chain of events that awakened the Nigerian youth because they then suddenly realized that they are dealing with a state that has discounted their lives. Generally, that their lives really don't matter. They saw it graphically because it's the electronic age. All you need is a phone, an Android or whatever. You can see the world. And a lot of things went on here. A lot of things were seen. Government was busy denying wearing his fig leaf in the marketplace. Obviously, it didn't work. Last, the Nigerian state was denuded in the marketplace. And then they saw the response of the political system during the COVID. They saw how COVID palliatives were hoarded, became party souvenirs for honorables' birthdays. They saw all of that. They saw the dehumanization of the Nigerian all through the COVID things. They saw how people starved, insecurity mounted. They saw all of that. So my people have one proverb in Yoruba land. They say, "Tiya obati kari kokin to gbon," until the suffering is democratized. It is really time to throw off the chains. Nigeria has democratized suffering. The people in Kankara, they are Fulani Muslims, but they suffered the scourge of banditry. They suffered it just as much as those in the Benue Trough. It's the Hausa and the Fulani in Zamfara. People are killing themselves all over the country because the social fabric is disintegrating and the state itself appears to be a facilitator from local government level to the federal government level. So there is a general failure of governance. These are young persons who can understand that with better governance, their country is not a place to flee from. Those who have said this to themselves are probably those who can afford to flee but have elected not to flee. And then those who can't go anywhere, they are looking everywhere, looking for some hope. So 2023 represents a watershed moment in the history of Nigeria. We're at an inflection point, and there's going to be a clash of visions. Those who want us to be the way we are, and those who want us to travel in a different direction. That inflection point is assuring that a lot of people who would ordinarily have been disengaged from the system are engaged. Registration went to unbelievable levels because people took it upon themselves to offer hope to the Nigerian youth that, look, it doesn't have to be violent. If they will not allow peaceful demonstrations to work, why not get your PVCs? It's either your PVC or your gun. We don't want